Hi diddly ho, neighborinos. I'm Marty Jake, and today I'm going to be ranking my personal top 5 favorite Simpsons Christmas episodes. Wait a minute. That's not autism related. Doh! Well, a fun fact about me is that The Simpsons is my biggest special interest, and is one that I've had for a really long time at this point. I've seen every single episode multiple times over, and it's a show that I love very much. So I thought it might be a fun idea to do a video ranking my favorites of the Simpsons Christmas episodes. Is this just an excuse to info dump about one of my special interests? Quite possibly. Are we going to talk about it anyway? You bet. At number 5 on our list, we have the season 13 episode, She of Little Faith. In this episode, Homer accidentally destroys the town's church with a model rocket that he was helping Bart build. Mr. Burns offers to help rebuild the church, but only if he can run it like a business. Lisa gets upset at the church's commercialization and decides to leave the church and ends up deciding to become a Buddhist. This is a very funny episode. I love the Rip It parody song that Homer sings while he's flossing his teeth. And I always crack up at Homer's speech to Bart where he says, "Well, as long as you're in my house, you'll do what I do, and believe what I believe, so butter your bacon." Also, the joke of the pony they bought Lisa just being Ralph in Millhouse is great. This episode is also special in that it's an episode that established a new precedent for future episodes. In every episode after this, Lisa was a Buddhist. The Christmas theming might be a bit weak as it really only comes in towards the end of the episode, but overall it's a very solid episode. Number 4 is the season 23 episode, Holidays of Future Past. This is a very special episode because it takes place 30 years in the future when Bart, Lisa, and Maggie are all grown up and have kids of their own. This isn't the first episode to be set in the future, but this particular take on it has probably been my favorite. In the episode, both Bart and Lisa are bringing their kids to Homer and Maggie's and Marge's house for Christmas. And the episode revolves around Bart and Lisa's struggle to connect with their respective children. And there's also a side plot about Maggie being pregnant and traveling home. A moment I really love is the Christmas card section at the beginning of the episode, where you see the family slowly aging with each Christmas. And there's a really sweet moment where Bart and Lisa meet up in the treehouse and bond over their shared parenting difficulties. At number 3, we have the season 12 episode, Skinner's Sense of Snow. In this episode, a snowstorm traps a number of students in Springfield Elementary in the school with Principal Skinner on the last day before the holiday break. The plot revolves around Principal Skinner's efforts to keep the children under control. It also has a subplot with Homer and Flanders coming to rescue them in Flanders' car. One of my favorite jokes from this episode is the bit where Homer goes to make a snow angel and gets up and it's in the shape of a devil. And the interactions between Homer and Flanders are always great. Number 2 is the season 7 episode, Marge Be Not Proud. In this one, Bart wants a new video game, but Marge refuses to buy it for him because of how violent it is. So Bart, egged on by Jimbo and Nelson, decides to steal it from a store but is caught. Eventually, Marge and Homer find out, and the rest of the episode is about Bart trying to win back his mother's trust. This episode really knows how to tug on the heartstrings, like with the moment where Bart expects Marge to tuck him in like she did earlier in the episode, but she doesn't. Or when Bart asks Milhouse if he's ever afraid his mom will stop loving him. Or when he comes home to find the family doing Christmas stuff without him. But it makes it all the sweeter when they reconcile at the end. The number 1 spot on my list goes to Simpsons roasting on an open fire. This also happens to be the very first Simpsons episode, but I think it still holds up as a really great episode. The plot of the episode revolves around Homer's struggles to afford to buy presents for Christmas. In the episode, Bart gets a tattoo without permission, so Marge has to spend her Christmas savings to get it removed. But what she doesn't know is that Homer isn't getting his Christmas bonus this year. So Homer gets a secret job as a Mars Santa to try to earn enough money for Christmas. But when that fails, he bets the little bit of money he earned at the dog racing track. The dog he bets on, Santa's little helper, finishes last, and is abandoned by its owner, and Homer decides to take the dog in. This is overall a really great, heartfelt episode that also serves as a really good introduction to the series. There are also some really interesting trivia regarding this episode. Like, for example, did you know that Simpsons roasting on an open fire wasn't originally meant to be the first episode to air? The first episode was originally meant to be the season 1 episode, Some Enchanted Evening, but due to problems with the animation, the episode was pushed back to the season finale, and Simpsons roasting on an open fire was pushed forward to the series premiere. Another fun fact about this episode is that after it aired, the creators received a bunch of letters thanking them for bringing awareness to the abandonment of racing dogs. And finally, if you look at the end credits, you might see a familiar name under animation produced by Klasky Suspo Inc., which is the animation company responsible for the creation of one of my favorite cartoons, Rugrats. They actually animated all 48 shorts that originally aired on the Tracy Ullman Show, as well as the animation for the first 3 seasons of The Simpsons, before The Simpsons switched to a different animation company. Which brings me to an interesting fact that I happen to know. The sound of Maggie sucking on her pacifier in The Simpsons is the same sound used in Rugrats for when Tommy drinks from a bottle. So I know this was a bit different from my normal videos, but I thought this would be a fun thing to do in the meantime while I work on the script for my next review. My next video should be another Autistic Reviews episode. Until next time, goodbye!